Welcome to this IELTS Listening Practice Test. In this test, you will listen to a variety of recordings and answer questions based on what you hear. Before each section begins, you will have time to read the instructions and questions carefully. After each section, you will be given a short period to review your answers before moving on to the next part. The listening test is divided into 4 parts. The recordings will be played one time only, so listen carefully and write your answers while listening. For each question, follow the word limit instructions carefully. For example, if the instruction says, "Write one word only," your answer must contain just one word. After completing all 4 parts, you will have time to review your answers. An answer sheet with all correct answers will be provided at the end of the video. Now, prepare your pen and paper, make sure you are in a quiet place, and let's begin the test. Part 1. You will hear a conversation between a customer and an employee at a camping equipment company. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good afternoon, Summer Adventure Club, Olivia speaking. How may I help you?
Hello, I'd like some information about your activity weekends.
Certainly. May I have your name, please?
Michael Carter.
Thank you. Could I also take your address?
Yes, it's 56 Greenfield Avenue.
And your postcode?
TS84LP.
Thank you. May I have your mobile number?
Of course, it's 078346250091.
Thanks. Before we continue, could I ask where you heard about our company?
Actually, I saw an advertisement in a magazine.
Great. So, what sort of activities are you interested in?
My children have always wanted to learn kayaking, so I thought we'd try that.
That's one of our most popular weekends.
Wonderful.
How many people will be coming?
There'll be 4 of us all together.
We provide different sizes of tents.
That's good, but I don't really want a large tent. Something smaller would be easier.
No problem. I'll make a note of that.
Are there any other activity weekends available?
Yes, we have another program that includes a visit to the Railway Museum.
My son would enjoy that.
Afterwards, most families spend time beside the lake because it's very peaceful.
That sounds lovely.
Now you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
The first weekend lasts 3 days and costs £145 per person. The price includes accommodation, equipment, and 1 breakfast.
Okay.
The second program lasts 5 days and costs £195.
Does that include transport?
Yes, transport and accommodation are included. And there's also an evening barbecue for all participants.
Excellent.
One more thing. Our special discount is available until July 31st.
That's useful to know. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Part 2. Part 2. You will hear a woman giving information about a community art festival. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this year's Community Art Festival. My name is Helen Carter, and I'll be telling you about some of the events and facilities available during the week. Let's begin with the workshops. On Saturday, we have a pottery workshop taking place in Room 11. Tickets cost £10 for adults and £6 for children, although most visitors simply remember the adult price because that's the standard charge. On Sunday, there'll be a photography course for beginners. Originally, we intended to hold it in Green Hall, but due to the number of people who registered, it has been moved to Riverside Hall. There is no charge for attending this session. Our popular watercolour class will be held in Studio 4 on Tuesday. Participation costs £15 and all materials are provided. For younger visitors, we are offering a children's painting class on Wednesday in Room 8. Parents usually expect to pay £5, but thanks to sponsorship from a local business, the activity is completely free this year. Finally, on Friday evening, professional artists will give a sculpture demonstration in the main gallery. Entry is normally £8, but festival members will only need to pay £4. Another activity that has become increasingly popular is the jewellery making workshop. It will take place on Thursday in the Craft Centre. Participants will pay £12 and all materials will be supplied.
Now you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
Now, a few details about the festival itself. When you arrive, please remember to collect a programme from reception. It contains maps and the timetable for all events. A number of food stalls have been set up near the fountain in the centre of the park. You'll find a wide variety of meals and refreshments there. Visitors who are driving should note that free parking is available behind the library. Additional parking spaces are available near the sports centre, but these require payment. In the evenings, musical performances and outdoor films will begin at 7:30. We recommend arriving early as seats are limited. Finally, as most activities are outdoors, we suggest bringing a raincoat if the weather forecast predicts rain.
That is the end of Part 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Part 3. Part 3. You will hear a discussion between a student and a university enterprise advisor about a business competition. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Come in, Maya. I've been looking forward to hearing about your competition entry.
Thanks. It's for the National Student Enterprise Competition.
Ah, yes, I remember that one. Students usually develop websites or educational products.
That's true, but this year the organizers want something different. The main aim is to identify a problem affecting local communities and develop a practical solution.
So the focus is on solving real-world issues.
Exactly.
And which issue have you chosen?
Food waste.
Interesting choice. Why not housing or transport?
We considered both, but after researching the topic, I realized many people simply don't pay attention to how much food they throw away every week.
That's certainly true.
Our idea is called Share Cycle.
Tell me how it works.
Special collection bins are placed around the city. Some people think they're mainly for storage, but they're actually fitted with sensors that record the quantity of food being deposited.
So they're measuring waste levels.
Yes, the information is sent directly to our system.
And where does the mobile app fit in?
The app helps users locate the nearest collection point. Later, we may add extra features, but that's its main purpose at the moment.
Very practical. What happens to all the information you collect?
We'll analyze it to identify trends. The data won't be sold, and it certainly won't be deleted. Instead, it'll be used to make the system more efficient over time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
You seem to have planned everything very carefully. What would you like help with?
Well, the competition final is only 3 months away. I'm not worried about the written report, but I'm concerned about the questions the judges might ask afterwards.
Their questioning session.
Yes, that's the part I'm least confident about.
What preparation have you completed so far?
We've produced sketches, cost estimates, and market research findings.
Good. But if you want to impress the judges, you'll need a prototype.
That's exactly what my teammates said.
What's stopping you?
Money, mainly. We have plenty of ideas, but not enough funding to purchase all the equipment.
In that case, have you considered sponsorship?
Not really.
The university has links with several local businesses. They often provide sponsorship for promising student projects.
That could solve a lot of problems.
Also, I'd like to read your report.
Of course.
The market section looks strong, but I want to examine the financial analysis more closely. Investors usually focus on those figures first.
I'll email it to you this afternoon.
Perfect.
That is the end of part 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to Part 4. Part 4. You will hear part of a lecture in a wildlife conservation course. The speaker is discussing the desert fox. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Today we're going to examine a remarkable animal that has adapted to one of the harshest environments on Earth, the desert fox. When people first see this fox, they immediately notice its enormous ears. While many assume these ears are mainly used for hearing, their most important function is actually controlling body temperature. Blood circulating through the ears releases excess heat, helping the animal survive in extremely hot conditions. For centuries, desert communities have admired the fox. Historical accounts suggest that some tribes viewed it as a symbol of wisdom because of its ability to locate food and water in places where other animals could not survive. These communities often discouraged outsiders from hunting the fox. In many areas, elders taught younger generations to keep its location secret from hunters, believing that the animal played an important role in maintaining balance within the desert ecosystem. Let's now look at the fox's habitat. Although deserts may appear lifeless, they contain complex ecological systems. Various shrubs and grasses develop deep roots that help prevent erosion when powerful winds sweep across the landscape. The fox itself contributes to environmental health by feeding on insects and small rodents. Without predators such as the desert fox, certain pest populations could increase rapidly. Unfortunately, the species' range has become much smaller over time. Today, healthy populations remain in only a handful of protected regions. Several threats are responsible for this decline. One major concern is habitat destruction caused by large-scale development projects. Roads, industrial facilities, and expanding settlements have all reduced the amount of suitable land available. Food shortages are also becoming more common. Researchers have linked this problem to excessive grazing by livestock, which reduces vegetation and affects the entire food chain. The species faces another difficulty. Female foxes produce relatively few young, resulting in a low rate of reproduction. This means that populations recover very slowly after periods of decline. In response, conservation groups have launched several new initiatives. Scientists are working closely with governments and local communities to improve protection efforts. One recommendation is that farmers adopt a more sustainable method of managing their land. Better land use practices could help restore damaged ecosystems. Experts also stress that preserving existing habitats alone is not enough. There must be active expansion of protected areas so that populations have room to grow and spread naturally. If these measures are implemented successfully, the future of the desert fox may be far brighter than it appears today. That concludes today's lecture.
That is the end of Part 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That is the end of the listening test. You now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the listening answers sheet.